Bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Ça va? Hello. How's everybody doing? My name is Gabrielle.
I'm Avery.
And we are about to move across the world.
I'm nervous.
I'm excited. This is gonna be great.
It's gonna be an adventure, and we wanted to help all of you guys. And yeah,
Anybody has any questions or anything, this video might be useful for them, because we kind of did not know anything when we were going through our visa process and whatnot. So we definitely learned a lot, and we want to give you guys those tips as well to prevent you from having the same problems as us.
So we're gonna continue making videos just showing like what our lives are like, because we're doing two different things and we'll talk about it. But
if anybody else is ever feeling like they want to do this but they don't think that they have proper resources or guidance, hopefully this video can help you guys out. You want to start, Aves?
I guess I'll talk about myself. How I got here: I'm a biology major. I just graduated, and I'm doing my master's online in public health administration. And I studied abroad in France for my last 5 months of my undergrad, so I'm now deciding to go back because I loved it so much. So I had a student visa before, but now I'm applying for an au pair visa. And an au pair is someone of a different nationality who goes with a family and teaches one of their kids whatever language that you know. So I speak English, obviously, so I'm going to teach them English. And the family has to talk to me in French, and I just do certain duties, and they pay me a small stipend and pay for my health care, my housing, and my food. And different au pairs will give you different things. So yeah.
I'm excited for you. I'm doing something a little bit different. So I'm going over on a tourist/travel visa. So I'm going to be doing this program called Workaway, where basically you go live with the host and you stay there for free, eat for free, everything's paid for in exchange for helping them out on their farm, their house, whatever it is. It may be like rebuilding their home, it may be building them a garden, some chicken coops, upkeep on just whatever they need. You help them out with it in exchange for just living over there with them. So that's what I'll be doing. It's the first time I'm ever doing anything like this, but this is what we've kind of have learned so far.
Sorry, we're not YouTubers or anything, so
we just want to help you out.
We're definitely
you guys out,
learning with you guys too. Why do we want to leave the States?
Oh,
PG,
Gabrielle. I just want to leave the States because I feel like I have explored the US enough, and just keep exploring internationally until I find out where I want to live. And right now it's not the States, so
definitely more PG than the last one she gave me. But I agree, and I really like that in Europe they have free healthcare, free insurance, and their work to life balance is more maintainable and like stable compared to us. Like they work to have a life. They work because they need to be productive members of society, but they also know that they need to be healthy, and like they get paid maternity leave and like
free university as well.
I just think it would be a better lifestyle for me to live. Okay, so how did you get your visa?
So it's actually kind of a difficult process, which is why we wanted to help you guys, because
there's not a lot of help on the website.
No, there's no help on the website. It's very hard to call, it's very hard to email, it's very hard to get in contact with anybody that has anything to do with visas. They're not the best with communication. I got a Schengen tourist visa, which means it's basically like a travel visa. You can get it from 3 months all the way up to a year. I got mine approved for 1 year. Basically, I can go anywhere in the Schengen
not all
area.
Of Europe, but it's like England's excluded, Norway's excluded. If you have an American passport, you can travel to any of the other countries too, and you'll be fine.
Mine basically means I'm just over there to explore and see the sights, and I can't do any professional work over there because I'm not like income based. I'm not doing taxes or anything. With this visa, you are given the opportunity to either stay in Europe to renew it, or if you have to come home to renew it at the end. Unfortunately, you can check off the box, but sometimes they will pick for you. Those are the two different types of options that you have when the visa ends. So that's what mine is.
So how did you start the process of like getting your visa?
I looked up different types of ways to get your visas and how you go through it. And the one that I went with, and I don't know if this is the only one that you can go
I would
with.
only use this one.
I mean, it's This one, the online communication is rough.
Bad.
But this is the only one that I feel is safe and trusted to get a France visa.
I've seen other ones that like they advertise, but I've read that they can be scammed, so I would go through. It's called VFS Global.
The other website as well is called France Visas.
It's like the French consulate.
I'll link them right here.
So for my au pair visa, I just went on the consulate website and you fill out your application. After you fill that out, you go to the VFS Global website and you do your appointment and you pay for that. There's like, I think 7 centers in the US.
Yes.
They're definitely like spread out. So if you don't live close to one, you will have to
It's like
fly
Washington,
there or drive
New
there.
York, Chicago, Texas.
Especially on the West Coast, there's like not as many. So just keep that in mind too. You will have to get there yourself. And so now we'll get into things you need for your visas. Different visas call for different things. So I have a lot more, so I'll go first. So for me, you need to get your au pair contract signed. So how I found my au pair family was through Au Pair World. Definitely very reliable. I can talk more about that maybe in another video, but you definitely, so you'll meet your family, you'll probably video call with them. I got to actually meet with my family just because I was in France and I wanted to pick a family that was like close to where I was because I really liked the area. So I met them. We physically signed the au pair contract. You can download that on the France's website. You need to have your appointment printed out too. That's another thing you need. You need your transcripts from school. I don't think you have to have a full degree, but I think you have to have at least 2 years of an undergrad. You need a passport that has 3 pages blank, and you also need a copy of your whole passport, like even the front and all the pages that have stamps. You need finances. So I had my finances and I had my parents' finances. It's like a 3 months bank statement or pay stub or something, and you need to have a letter with with your parents that says so and so will
make sure that they are taken care of.
Yeah, we'll finance all things.
Just
I
in
can
case.
even put a template of what I used.
Yeah.
I also got a physical from my doctor. I needed proof of French literacy, so A1 level, which I don't know if you know the levels, but that's like beginner basically. So basically you just have to have a couple months of French. You need to pay for French lessons and show proof of that. Wherever you are or online. They're very vague on the website, but it does say you need at least 3 months of French lessons. I need an au pair letter of intent that needs to be in French, and basically it's a 1-page letter. I just did double spaced of why I want to become an au pair, and then I also have my plane ticket. Proof of insurance. You can buy any kind of insurance, but the VFS Global offers like a $500
that's what I chose.
all-inclusive. That's what I did too. But also for an au pair, once you get over there, your visa will act as a social security number. So your au pair family will register you for French insurance too. So you probably won't have to pay for anything when you're over there. And then is there anything different for your visa?
I think you got it. I had to do proof of income as well to make sure that I was able to support myself for this trip. And then a letter from my employer, like stating that I am in fact an employee. So also what I did and what they would like as well is a list of all of the contacts that you'll be staying with. So I am going to be staying at like a hostel for like a couple nights, and then I have another friend I'm going to be staying with, and then I have the family that I'm going to be staying with over there. And so they just want a list of all those contacts for proof that you have like a place to stay over there and you're not going to be, I don't know, homeless or just wandering around and don't have a plan. They just want to see that you have that all in order. Another thing I will say is with doing Workaway, I would not mention that you're doing Workaway in your application because they look at it as like working, and even though you're technically not getting paid and it's technically not professional, they still don't really like it. And so this is what one of the Workaway families that I was in contact with had told me when I was asking them questions about, you know, how to go about this process. So that's just something that I would note as well. You also have to have a promise not to execute any professional business while you're over there, since the visa that you're going over with doesn't allow you to.
You also got your international driver's license. Did you give that to them?
Yeah, so the list of things that you need to have for the tourist visa is you need to have like your passport with all of the pages copied and scanned. Always have like one or at
doubles,
least,
doubles or triples of everything.
Copies, so that you have one and they have one, and there's an extra one just in case. But
bring it in a folder. Like I put it paper clipped in case they want to staple it. They will staple it there, but I just let them do that. And just make sure you have everything like labeled and ready.
So I also had receipts of my plane tickets. I had receipts of my actual booking for like the hostel. I had my train ticket receipts. Like as much as you can to show them that you're prepared. We both got international driver's licenses for when we went over to France and like Croatia back in March. But those will still kind of transfer over. They're good for a year. They're literally only $25 if you're a member with AAA. You can go there and you can get it in like 15 minutes. You just go in, give them your license. They ask you some questions. They ask you when you want the international license to start. And then you walk out with an international license and you're able to drive then anywhere. So I also had that I brought with, just lots of extra stuff to show how prepared that I was and how like ready I am to go over financially and all of the above.
More is better. Just have receipts of everything, even emails. Like if you email them about a concern, print that email out and give it to them just in case they say like, oh, I don't know about this.
Pretend like they just don't know anything.
Pretend they don't know anything because they might not. They probably don't. So do you want to explain a little bit about what you're doing specifically at Workaway?
Yeah, so what I'm going to be doing specifically over there, I'm going to be staying with an elderly couple. Their names are Bob and Margaret. They're super cute, super nice. They are also ex-nomads. They've been traveling their whole lives, and this is where they've settled. They have a son named Peter who lives in Paris, who I'm also in contact with. But I'm going to be staying with them for the year. They run a bed and breakfast, so I'll be helping them run the bed and breakfast since they're getting older. And they have orchards, they have like a little horse farm, they have gardens. You can go into town, get groceries for them, cook for them if they need it, whatever they need. But it's in the countryside.
Normandy.
It's by Normandy Beach. So I'm super excited for the countryside and the mountains and just no city and just peace and quiet.
Okay, and I'm gonna be an au pair. So basically, like I said, I found them on Au Pair World and we started talking and then we started video calling and then I met with them. And they have a little son who's 3 and they have a 15-year-old daughter. And my job is I'll be living with them. I have my own room, my own bathroom. Every au pair situation will be different. Sometimes you'll get your own place. Sometimes you won't get your own bathroom. It really just depends. I have my own car and each will pay you a certain stipend. And I think the lowest they can pay you is $90 a week. I'm getting paid 100 euros a week, and you'll just figure that out with your au pair family and just be transparent with them, like if you want a certain amount or not. But I'm saying that's pretty reasonable if like everything's covered.
Everything else is paid for. So
basically I just take them to school in the morning and I get them ready for school. I pick them up from school and then I just take care of them until the mom gets back from work around 6:30. I have one full day off for sure on Sundays, and we worked it out that like there might be some weekends that they want me to watch Combe while it's his name while they're out, and then there's some weekends where I can do my own thing. So you just need to talk with your au pair family and find an au pair family that works for you, because ultimately you will be with them like 24/7. So you definitely want to have a family that you like. I've heard of stories that are good and heard of stories that are bad, so just make sure you really talk with them and get out everything that you want. And things not to do. Book it as soon as you can, please.
So something that I unfortunately ran into when I started this process was I made an appointment up in Chicago when I was living in Louisville, Kentucky. So it's about like a 6-hour, 5-hour drive. So I made an appointment. I was super excited. I got up early, ran up there, sat there for like 3 hours, and then finally got to the desk. And the guy was like, "Why are you here right now?" And I was like, "What do you mean? Because I made an appointment." And he was like, "You can't be here right now. You have to make your appointments less than 90 days from the date that you are leaving." And mine was 95 days before I was leaving. And so I drove all the way up there for nothing. They wouldn't let me go through the application. You have to wait until it's 90 days before you leave. But with that being said,
you also want to make it as soon as that 90 days is like good. You want to make your appointment as soon as you possibly can, because there will be issues. Like my visa, when I got my student visa, I started the application early, but they sent it to me. They sent it the wrong date, so I had to send it back, and you have to pay for that. They will not pay for that, even though they messed it up. You have to send it back to the consulate and then email whoever and print those emails out, send that in. They sent it back to me fixed, but you know, that was another week and a half that it took to get there. So just prepare for that. I'm supposed to leave in
like
4 days and I don't have my visa. I don't have my visa yet.
Okay.
There was issues because I had a student visa before, and make sure that you have copies like we said, and you were told that you might have to notarize
so I brought in a note from my parents saying that if I were to need money or be monetarily supported by them in any way, that they would provide that for me. And the guy at the desk was like, this is good. I mean, it will count it, but you should get it notarized. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a personal thing. If you think that you're fine, then don't do it. But when I went, that's just a note that he had said to me. And a lot of people that are there through like marriage visas, make sure everything's kind of notarized.
I've had 2 visas and I've never been told this, but it's also just something to consider because it honestly does depend on what day and who you're getting, because this person could be really nice to you and really want to help you, and this person could not want to help you just because they're having a bad day, which I know sounds terrible, but it's so true. And you just want to have everything and not give them a reason to say no. Another thing, check your dates on everything. So when I was frantically looking for another appointment for my au pair visa because it was coming down to the last
and there were
couple
no
days,
appointments at
there were no appointments available at any location, and I was geeking out. And so I finally made one. My mom screenshotted this. She said, okay, I found one. It was in Houston. She lives in Texas. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna fly there. I literally had to take off work and fly there. So it was for the June 20th. I went June 19th. I was preparing all my documents and I see something that says my appointment was June 19th. I can't tell you how scared I was. My stomach, I felt like I was gonna throw up. I was freaking out. And the next morning I just went there bright and early in the morning as soon as it opened up, and then they did take me, but they didn't have to. They could have said no and I would have had to make another appointment and go again. So it really just depends. I had a great lady. She was so sweet and I'm so thankful. But she really just could have said no because I was a walk-in appointment, and they don't have to accept walk-in appointments. They can accept them. I would not bank on that. There will be a list there, like detailed. It's not very detailed, and there's
do it yourself.
Different things, different spots that they say you need it, but it's not on the list. So I know that's so confusing, but it really is confusing. So
we'll include everything that we had to bring for ours.
If you have any questions, if you want us to talk more specifically about, how we got here and different websites we use and specific details, we might even be able to go into look at it specifically, how to find the stuff and go through how to apply, because it can be confusing. And I'm so glad that I had help the first time I did it, because there was no way I was going to do it myself.
We also looked to other videos for help, and so we figured this is a good opportunity, since we're kind of going through it ourselves, to educate other people, even though it may not be the best. We're just being honest about what we're doing and just trying to be really just 100% truthful with you guys about the whole process. And hopefully we'll keep you updated with this journey that we're about to start. Please just let us know if you guys have any questions specifically about getting a visa and the steps of going over there and how to start the process, figure out where you want to go, anything. Because we have been going through it for the past couple months.
And we're going to make more videos about what we're doing. Keep any questions you guys have. And thanks for watching.
Bonne journée!
Bonne journée!